G'day guys, my name is 3Dad21 and welcome back to Danganronpa. We are about to start the third trial. I'm really excited to see where this goes. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you? Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other? What? What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute!
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me, of course I'm gonna start. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. And it's the deadly shit again. We've all read it. Let's save. Alright, let's set our skills. So, Lost in Thought, what does it do? Increases the time limit for each phase. I think that's a good thing to keep. Algorithm, increases the speed of memorizing a statement. We might need that, so... Neural Liberation. Focus gauge decreases more slowly during concentration and fever time. Effective during the non-stop debate, the Hangman's Gibbet, and the bullet time battle. That's pretty good. Handiwork, allows you to reload 2 bullets at once. I don't really care about that, so I guess I'll use Neural Liberation and keep it at that. And let's go! Time for some voice acting that I don't use.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
I just realized both the people next to Makoto in the class trial are now dead. That's pretty fucked up.
If you can figure an aisle now then.
We've heard this before.
To begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer? Or, before anything else, we have to make that clear. Let's prove that Yasuhiro isn't the murderer. Let's go.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second.
I mean, looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awful messy. If I remember right, Hiro's handwriting is...
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
There you go.
No, it's wrong.
Okay. That one was a little bit more obscure, I have to admit.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Yeah.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
At least he admitted it.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
There you go.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
No. Someone wore the suit, and then pinned it on Hiro, and then managed to put Hiro in the suit and put him in the locker. That's all I can say.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
That's what we're in this trial to figure out. The suspicious individual in question, the one that must have been in the suit. Wait, what? Excuse me? What? Okay, not Hino. So it was Hero then.
I got it!
What the heck?
Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hero didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
Huh. Interesting.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
It's a fucking red herring.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
I think we need to clarify the method of transportation for Hifumi's body, actually.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I got it!
There's still one more thing. The blue top.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
What? Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
I mean, I didn't see it, but if that's really the case, that's kind of shitty.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong, and nobody expects much from you anyway.
Alright, you didn't need to go out and say it, Celeste.
We
Jeez.
have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from their equipment room to the repository. A new element has been added, for fuck's sake! Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements, but from now on, just locking on and pressing hitting the triangle button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the square button. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the square button in time with the tempo marker. Okay, right. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time and your ammo will not decrease. Okay. Alright. Let's go.
You had it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere.
Oh, final strike. Okay, cool.
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Sucked in, Celeste. That was a good...
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Sucked in. Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Yeah, because they said that the suit doesn't bend down, right? It's not designed that way. So how would you be able to pick up Taka's body and put it on the dolly and move the dolly when it doesn't have a handle? What does he mean by that? Here we go, yep.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong! You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible! Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Nope, you can't take it off yourself. Oh wait, never mind, that was the wrong one. Sorry.
Shoot!
I messed that one up.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid friggin' thing! There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
So... that's really, really weird.
You really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it.
Exactly.
Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true
Oh
that
my
Robo
God,
Justice
Aoi,
couldn't
yes!
move the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. Or that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Well, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Thank you, Coco. Knock some fucking sense into these people.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Yes, we should.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec
Sorry,
room and
I'm
quickly
sneezing.
came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
and then, at that point we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Tell me about it.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them, no matter what. Alright, let's go.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death.
Hold on, I need to remember which button I pressed to absorb a weak spot. Triangle. Okay.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while
Taka's death came from...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came...
I actually don't know what to do with this one. Is there a way to, like, load a different truth bullet? Okay.
After.
So, regarding Taka's death,
Oh, I can't.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi,
I
or
can't.
perhaps it was after?
I have to shoot it.
We already know what order they were killed in.
No? Okay.
Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Those are the only two
It's
weak
true that
spots.
Hifumi was
killed with just while Taka's death.
See?
Okay,
So it's
so
obvious Taka came after.
I have to pick one. I have
So,
room for error, so I'm
regarding
just gonna
Taka's
go.
death,
I wonder if he... Or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's
Oh,
true that
damn it.
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay, let me try this again.
So, regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they
Oh
were
wait, no!
killed in.
Ah, fuck! I just fucked it all up. God damn it! Oh no, this is bad.
So,
Regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was us. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that
Damn it, I
Hifumi was
missed it.
killed
Are you
with while
kidding me?
Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm so bad at this.
I wonder if, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the Justice
Oh,
Hammers.
it happened
It's true that
again!
Hifumi, while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I'm sorry, guys. I know this is
So,
really fucking
I wonder
irritating.
if, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Okay, that was it. Thank goodness. Alrighty.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
That is a good point. The numbers only correlate to the size of the hammers.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Alright, we're gonna use the broken watch. Oh wait, I gotta do a Hangman's Gambit for it. Okay. Oh, that's a... Oh, wristwatch. Okay.
Now I understand.
Alright, sweet.
I got it! Taka's wristwatch! See? Look! It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night, so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
I'm just skipping through all that dialogue because we've already seen it
we were all
before.
together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
Oh my god,
If
Hiro.
that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
What this is setting up for, I feel like this is setting up for there are two murderers. I've been silent for a while because I just want to like let this case sink in a bit more. But I think the reason Kyoko said we need to investigate these murders as their own thing is because I think there's two murderers.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
It's a very good question.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
That makes sense. Because if we remember, Hifumi wasn't actually dead. Hifumi woke up when Hina's tears splashed at him, and then he talked for a little bit and then actually really died. So obviously he wasn't dead up to that point, he was just knocked out.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive, is it really possible? Well, we already know. And I think the glasses cleaner is the proof. What? Broken wristwatch?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is if Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of it. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay, which one do I... Okay, I think I know what to do now.
Are you saying that when we first... there's a chance he would...
No.
It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body to Hifumi's dead body, and that is...
Are we really so... Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first... there's a chance he was at...
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement of Hifumi's dead body had been found.
no, that's wrong.
Okay, cool.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Because Ifumi had only died then.
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
What? Shit. It was around the same time. Come on. Fucking hell.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard.
Yep, that's why I cut off his statement.
But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Yes,
Okay,
there is.
then. Let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
No, it's not. Let's go.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
Oh, shit.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Oh wait, position? Shit! I didn't read that properly.
Shoot!
Oh no, this is really bad.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found him, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time it was in the...
But when you compare his body before being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
That's the one I was looking for.
No, that's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggle. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
But why did he do
He figured
it?
if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere.
Fucking hell.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. Oh, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Yeah, okay.
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who'd just finished stashing Taka's body there.
So Hifumi killed himself?
He convinced us all he was dead. And when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
Did Hifumi really just kill himself with a hammer?
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
So he killed Taka.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
Fucking hell.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of
the
Taka's
note.
lifeless body?
The note.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Why are we focusing so much on the fact that it was in his top?
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been... I got it!
Hifumi's pants.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Yeah, because it was found in the equipment room, and he was killed just past 6 a.m., so yeah.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
Why are you objecting?
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out
And Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. What's your problem now, you stupid bitch? Oh god. Uh-oh. I think it's a broken wristwatch though.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, it's wrong. No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that...
No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
You took it off it.
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
How the fuck are you supposed to prove that? Oh, we actually can prove it. Oh, the scrap.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa, yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
No, Hero.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
I'm pretty sure he killed himself.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Walrus.
Who are you calling a walrus?
I'm pretty sure Hifumi fits that description a bit more with his mouth shape.
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Fuck off, Byakuya.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
It sounds to me like that hammer that was wet is the key.
Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste?
Why are you happy?
Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
I mean, with enough force, either of those hammers could have killed someone. Just saying.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Exactly.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
That's not what he means.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Sorry, I just didn't feel like talking. You guys can read the lines. Make your argument. Spotless hammer. There it is.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
I think that's
Check
the
out
contradiction.
murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice
Oh, maybe
Hammers.
it's that one.
And, that's about it.
It could be either one of those. Repository, right? So if the weapons used to kill both of them were actually similar.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Was it just maybe Justice? Well, there's one.
I'm gonna try the last one.
How did nobody? Sounds like a Justice. Check out murdergear.com.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the
Yeah, sweet.
No, that's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to
Yeah.
assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there would be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but maybe they were accomplices.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Yeah, okay.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us,
Even if more than one person from only the one who actually cares, assuming the rule holds true.
That is,
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
I think that's the key. I might be wrong though.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible.
Nice.
No, it's wrong. Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka.
This is where I'm going to be splitting the clip. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the 2 murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing. Although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Excuse me? Can I pause this? Thank goodness, because I need to class trial convo. I'm gonna need a second to think about this. So, yeah, I'll be back. They haven't implicated anybody else yet. So, I know it's not Yasuhiro, because the writing on the... He's obviously been framed, because there's the blueprints in his room that don't match his handwriting. There's the note that he was given to meet at the rec room at 1 a.m. And then there's the fact that the note that was written to Taka... Am I able to pick a person who's dead? No, that wouldn't... fuck, I don't know, man. The only thing I can really think of is either it was Yasuhiro, which I really don't think it was, or Hifumi killed himself. Oh, man. I'm really nervous about getting this wrong, dude. Like, I'm very nervous. You can pick someone who's dead, but man, who the hell do I pick? Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna YOLO it and say Yasuhiro. Okay, it's not Hifumi. Sorry, Yasuhiro. Okay, I lost a heart for that, so I can still... Alright, let's try Hifumi. Okay. Alright, oh, this is bad. Okay, so... What, Kyoko? Was it Kyoko? Okay. What the fuck? Who is it then? What the fuck? Oh, man. Alright. I've been trying to think, I've been like going back through the case in my mind, trying to think of somebody that might not have an alibi, like a legitimate alibi. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think I know who it is now. They've done a very good job of making it hard to kind of... They're really making sure that you need to know this case backwards and forwards to have any idea of who it might be. Because as you saw right then, I just picked 3 people in a row and they were all wrong. So, the only person who doesn't really have an alibi is Celeste.
Here's my answer.
Fuck.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the 2 of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the 2 of you were working together.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh, wait. Shoot! No!
I got it!
Okay, oof, thank goodness.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand
exactly.
were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
What the fuck?
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the 2nd floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Yeah, that didn't
Once
add
she'd
up.
done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
That's fucking crazy.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Fucking hell. And yeah, that's exactly why she suggested that she is the one that goes to the nurse's office, because she knew that Hifumi would be down there, and then by being down there when Hina, was like not feeling well, Celeste used the excuse of, oh, I took her to the bathroom and then he disappeared. No, that was her making sure that Hifumi could get up and leave. Holy shit.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Wow.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on, That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor. Everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom.
Part of a plan.
Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Her saying, we're all going to die here, when she has been saying for ages that she feels fine living here.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking
Oh
about.
shit, I didn't even pick up
Although
on that.
I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Wow. That's crazy. Yakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? We'll point that out now. I gotta absorb something if Monokuma follows my bullet.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Actually, I'm a little... When she said that she should have only known about Hifumi's death. So,
All I said was...
what does that... I feel like I'm having a brain fart right now and I'm just completely missing something very obvious. So I apologize if, like, the answer is staring me in the face and I'm just like, what? What do I do? I really need to just... I need to sit back and just kind of absorb this for a bit. Because, I tell you what, I'm not doing very well. So, there's only 2 weak points, I think.
They must really be enjoying
That
the
one?
sight of us standing around. Right, they must be. We are all going to
Three.
we are going to die.
Oh no, there's
Just
way
like
more.
those guys. And that is all I said.
And that's all it took. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said
Okay, I'll
was,
try... I gotta be really careful about this because if I get it wrong, I'm gonna die. Oh, what do I absorb? Do I absorb... Okay, so let's think about this. So... She never said anything We didn't... like, if Celeste wasn't the murderer, she wouldn't know that Taka was dead and upstairs on the 3rd floor. So when she said those guys, was she referring to the 3 who had gone to Taka's body? I think that's what they're trying to get at here. So, okay, I guess I'll try that, and if it's wrong, well, you know what? Cool with me. I can live with it.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. Right? They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
Like those guys died.
And that's all it takes to finish
Oh,
this.
okay,
It's
now I see
obvious,
it.
Isn't it?
Now I
what
see
was
it.
so strange about Celeste's comment?
Wait, what? No, I fucked up! No!
Shoot.
Fuck. Try this again. Alright, well, let's try this again.
I refuse to give up yet!
Okay, thank you. Maybe it's the other way around. Now that I have 5 hearts, I can kind of just shoot the way I want to, but I have a feeling it has to do with those guys.
All I said was they must really enjoying the sight of us stand. They must be positively. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys. And that is.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was they must.
Man, actually, I don't even know. I don't want to get this wrong, you know? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with the other way around, so let's get rid of this
enjoying
bullet.
this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be. We are going to die. And that is.
And that's
All it takes to finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's
comment?
Okay, here we go.
All I said. They must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like.
Okay,
No, it's
good.
wrong.
Thank goodness I got that right. Alright.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Damn. Yep, the jig is up, Celeste. Oh man, I feel like she's about to have a mental breakdown.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
Yeah, because you said you saw the person heading through the hallway on the 3rd floor, but then they never reappeared. In fact, Yasuhiro was found in the pool, which is on the 2nd floor, so you straight up lied.
Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
Wow, how convenient that you know that.
In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? Is it Hifumi purposely putting the arms around the suit? Putting the suit arms around him?
I got it! Huh. It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
If I remember right, Hina said she said that she couldn't bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something really obvious. I don't know. I feel like I'm being stupid right now.
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly. If the person inside the suit, there's no way they could stand up.
That was it, okay.
No, it's wrong.
Cool. Alright. Because he is kind of slumping in the suit. It's weird.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Right, because the suit doesn't bend. Okay, that's what they were going for.
Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Right, that makes sense.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
That's crazy.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
You should be the one laughing, Celeste.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly! You want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Yeah, well, it was part of the plan.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Good luck with that, Celeste.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I got it!
Holy shit.
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that
That
a
a convenient
explanation?
explanation. Yeah.
No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
I mean, didn't she say her name is Celestia Ludenberg? Why didn't he just say Miss Ludenberg?
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Gee. Whoever Celeste's voice actress is, she is very, very good at being mad. Holy shit.
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
Well, to be fair, you are the ultimate gambler and you've never lost before, but you have today.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Is it time for the bullet time battle? Oh no, one more of these things, I guess. Is it the e-handbook? Wait a minute.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
Why is it upside down?
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
If I remember, there's something here that shows its owner's real name. Yep, it's the handbook. Okay. But what part of it do I... Maybe it's the... Hang on. What was... Hang on, let me get through it. I just wanna...
Hifumi was trying
Which
to
way
tell us
point to hit?
something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone.
How many times do I have to cry? Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the... And since you have no way to contradict me,
Yo, that your e-handbook, bitch!
That's it! The handbook!
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, It shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before. So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
I mean, she does have a good point there, but...
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please. Just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because...
She breaks.
Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Alright, here we go, the closing argument. Alright. So... What the... Why is there a picture of the glass ball? I would assume that one, right? Then... Huh. What do I do for this one? Oh, this one... Oh, I thought this was that one. No, this is like a time one, so... oh, that's 1 AM! That would have been when Yasuhiro entered. Then he got knocked out? Is it... It's the only one that has Yasuhiro on it, I would assume. Yeah, so it's this one. And then they stuff him into the costume. What? Is it this? What does the backpack have to do with anything? Or is it... Oh, okay, actually, I think it's this one. Then we got Kyondo. Hifumi kills him with Justice Hammer 4. Oh wait, no, that doesn't have blood on it yet. It shouldn't have blood on it yet. So this should be... Oh, he's looking at his watch, so it's this one. And then... Justice Hammer 4 gets bloodied by him getting killed. What do I put here? Was there a... Right, Justice Hammer 2 was used to, quote-unquote, attack him. Because that was the second time we saw him, so I think that's it. Justice Hammer 2. And then he covers himself in blood. And he uses Justice Hammer 3, right? I think that was used. This will be him pushing that. And then The killer finishes off Hifumi. Let's see if this
Here's
is right.
exactly what happened.
I hope this is right.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool.
Oop, I accidentally cut that off, sorry.
And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story.
And just as a little sidebar, I also want to point out that Celeste is the one who came up with the nighttime rule, and yet she very clearly broke the rule, and nobody seemed to question it, which I think is a bit odd when you now think about
it. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
First thing you've ever lost.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no.
What is your real name?
Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko Yasuhiro. Interesting.
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Whoa, she got rid of her accent. What the heck?
Interesting.
She even got rid of her accent. That's so weird. Oh, damn. So because we had the bullet time battle earlier, we don't have to do any of that crap. Cool, I got an A. How many coins do I get? 96. Woo! Very cool. Alrighty.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin.
God, this sounds fucking weird now. Just hearing her talk like a normal person now, that is so weird.
Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
Now that she's not putting on an accent, her voice does sound kind of familiar. I wonder if it's a voice actor I know.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
We've all heard that before. Who is found guilty? Monokuma vote! It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme, was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro!
Honestly.
I lost. Wait, I don't have to do the accent anymore as well, that's cool. I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use... you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. I'm in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
Then you're the one that stole it? That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it had disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. Oh wait, no, this is her talking now. God, this is confusing. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
Grr, so it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced and then... it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
Oh, I didn't need to lie to convince Hifumi. Also, Celeste. Fucking... Taka abused me. And he took pictures. He said if I do not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. so I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime! I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far! It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said it before in my life. I'm going to kill him! I'm going to fucking kill him! Wow, he said fucking. Can you believe it?
Unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean Taka is going to try to kill you.
Let go!
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard! Bastard, 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 bastard!
Honestly.
Can we allow him continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? She...
I swear!
I had to save her! Then would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love. Even a love as twisted as that can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid? That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. Jesus fucking Christ! I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you would actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward. Stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. Sorry, I broke accent for a bit there. That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya!
I wonder about
No,
that.
he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But...
But all along, you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. I'm sorry. It's just... like, up until this point, the motives have been completely understandable. Like, it's just been like... Sayaka originally intended to kill because she wanted to get out, to get back to her friends to make sure they're okay so she could continue her career. Leon saw the opportunity to kill her because he just wanted to get the fuck out, you know? Like, who the hell would want to live here? Mondo killed Chihiro because he was jealous of him, and also because he also wanted to get out, to get back to his gang. Celeste? Oh, I didn't kill it for the motive that Monokuma prepared. I just did it because I want to live in a European castle. Like, what the fuck? A castle? Oh, God. And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about! Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but...
There is nothing to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh.
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying, and plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then...
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey.
You just get executed again. I was about to say, what? Like... Oh, she's into that, isn't she? Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills!
You're all done? Okay, now let's get rolling! The blackened disturbed the peace and must pay the price!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
For her, the ultimate gambler!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What? This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Damn. So what, is it gonna be like a rigged gambling thing or something? Celeste has been found guilty, time for the punishment. Oh boy. Oh. Is she getting burned at the pike? Or the stake? Oh my fucking god. Oh, no thanks. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. Why is the fire engine coming? The fuck? Oh, what the hell? So they burned her and then drove a fire engine into her. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your
What
lives.
are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of
Bad.
here. You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already! So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me? Is this gonna get really fucking weird?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? What?
Ooh. How
Oh man, oh jeez, oh man, oh jeez, what do I mean? What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of
Well,
here. Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave to you?
so...
Most likely, is it the key to the locker? It's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
Huh? What? Then that means Celeste's probably hidden in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us. Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You really came.
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. What? I'm doing my best, so please just wait a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school?
you...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
what?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, What I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she'd told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or a monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back, she said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. Well, there's obviously an indentation in there. The secret Kyoko told me about, could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet, but I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked in, gashunk. At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out the back wall was like a revolving door and I'd made my way to the other side. Just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
There's a secret room. So this is the secret room, but what's in here? There's a bunch of files and what look like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry? This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? Yeah, Kyoko has. I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? What the fuck?! A strange sound rang out through my head. It felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then... darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. They took all the files?! Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much, at least. An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty? Gone. It's all gone! The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. The farther I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry. Can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... As if from a vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. That sound. It's coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Here in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside me, while only intensified that much more. Kacha? Baki? Hagagya? Hiya? Hachin? Sakura?! Before me, there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move, even breathe.
Why, you What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
Oh no, is Sakura the person working with the...
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be the mastermind spy is... What the fuck? Holy shit. What do I even say? What? Of all the people that it could have been, Sakura? Holy shit, that's crazy. Oh my god. As if this game wasn't mysterious enough, now I have even more questions. Oh boy. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Wow, what an episode. Thanks guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.